university recognises outstanding individuals who have contributed to society and their professions. We do this through the giving of honorary awards. I'm delighted to say that today we are recognising one such outstanding individual. Vice-Chancellor, it was unanimously resolved by the Senate and the Council of the University to confer an honorary degree upon Saorsa-Amatheia Tweedale. Dr. Jack Lopez, Associate Dean, Equality, Diversity and Inclusion, will present the candidate.
Thank you. High Sheriff, Vice-Chancellor, graduands, distinguished guests. I am delighted to provide the oration today to welcome Saorsa-Amatheia Tweedale as one of our newest honorary award recipients in recognition of her services to equality and diversity education. Saorsa has worked as a human rights activist, unionist and humanitarian tirelessly over her lifetime to help marginalised communities, specifically supporting LGBTQIA+ people and women in their fight for rights across the world. So why do we want to honour her work this afternoon? We have an excellent tradition at Bradford of honouring those who have worked tirelessly to defend the human rights of others, whether that be here on our doorstep or across borders. The fabulous Zapatista indigenous philosophers of Mexico often state, "The world we want is one where everyone fits." A simple yet profound request based on humanity and acceptance for all. Sadly, we still live in a world where not all humans are treated with respect or as equal citizens, and as such, we require those with the energy, the privilege, and the motivation to continue pushing for change. Saorsa is just one of those people, a quiet, and at times not so quiet, champion for the rights of others, doing the important work of societal change, not for her own recognition, but to make the world a more equal place for all. Saorsa-Amatheia Tweedale has been actively involved in diversity and inclusion initiatives throughout her 23-year career in the civil service, from chairing the Jobcentre Plus and Department for Work and Pensions gender networks to helping set up the department's first transgender network. She has a proud history of national and regional community activism, human rights advocacy, and civil service and union achievements, in addition to decades of LGBTQIA+ community work in Bradford and West Yorkshire. Saorsa's persistence to fight for change in LGBTQIA+ and women's rights over her lifetime has been met quite often both with direct discrimination and bullying and harassment from people who would never even take the time to get to know what an amazing woman she is. She has continued, despite this, to represent her communities and bring about change with the clear support of those who repeatedly elect her into leadership positions. Saorsa works tirelessly to promote equality, diversity and inclusion at a local and a national level. Saorsa sat for 4 years on the National Diversity Committee, working with her department, permanent secretary and executive team specialising on trans issues. When she left the committee, and in recognition of the value of her work that she was doing, the permanent secretary instructed that Saorsa continue her work centred on the trans and non-binary community and their inclusion in her workplace, establishing that as her role from around 2012 onwards. In her role and as a volunteer, she has supported, advised and trained countless organisations ranging from academic institutions to fire brigades to national sporting bodies to housing associations, national train companies, hospital trusts and car dealerships to develop their policies and to support them to be more trans inclusive and positive employers. She was a director at Bradford LGBT Strategic Partnership for 6 years and has also worked alongside the Bradford Hate Crime Alliance Committee. Saorsa is an extremely positive and representative both for the LGBTQ+ community and for the Bradford community. Her career and voluntary activism is noted nationwide. Her policy writing for public services, countless organisations, and her public speaking is evidence of best practice and excellence at its core. Diversity and inclusion are the driving force behind Saorsa's work and activism. She leaves no person left behind and has worked determinedly for women's and LGBTQ+ rights throughout her life. Saorsa uses creativity and her love of history and fashion to engage with her audiences. She leaves a lasting impression on all who hear her speak. Please join me in both congratulating her and thanking her for all she has fought for, Vice-Chancellor, in recognition of her significant contribution to equality and diversity education on a local and national scale. It is with great pleasure, in fact an honour and a pride and humility, that I present to you for the honorary degree of the Doctor of the University, Saorsa-Amatheia Tweedale.
Congratulations. By the authority vested in me, I admit you to Doctor of the University, Bradford. Congratulations.
I, Sheriff of West Yorkshire, Vice-Chancellor, fellow graduates and guests, let me begin by thanking the University of Bradford for conferring upon me this huge honour. This is foremost a day of celebration, both for honouring and recognising the culmination of years of hard work by all my fellow graduates. It is absolutely your day to shine. But before we honour your accomplishments, I would ask you to spare a moment to recognise those who sit behind you, physically right now, but who have been behind you every step of the way, supporting you, being there for you, and encouraging you to succeed in any way they can, your guests. When I hear the list of my successors, all the committees I chair, both national and local, the international conferences I have taken part in, organised or spoken at, the policies I have developed and training developed, and the very real differences I have made in the lives of the citizens of the UK, there's one thing I know with absolute certainty. Whilst I may have been the lead, the driving force behind the events or documents, I may have been the voice, may have been the person the people know and recognise. I have always had a group of wonderful, hard-working people beside me, supporting me, doing hard graft to make things happen as they should. I know I would not be here receiving this award if it were not for my guests here today and for all the other people in general who I have been so very lucky to have at my side throughout my life and career. It's a phrase too often overused and trivialised, but what my career has taught me more than anything else is that there truly is no I in team. Our greatest successes are down to great teamwork, and individual successes are built upon the support of others. Just as a long-distance runner relies on training shoe designers and manufacturers, the pace setters, the nutritionists, the physical trainers, and a whole host of others to be a winner, I'm sure behind your success today, there has been a really great support team too. So to all the guests, On behalf of all the graduates, including myself, thank you for all you have done, continue to do, and will no doubt do in the future. On May the 1st this year, history was made. I, alongside my co-chair Jefferson and our counterparts in Canada, organised and held the first ever international summit between the civil service LGBT+ staff networks of two different nations. Together, we shared our commonalities and differences, our ways of working, our ways of developing. We shared ideas and projects, but above all, we listened and learned from each other. Bonds of friendship and working relationships were forged across the Atlantic to the benefit of both networks and nations. And yet, I'd be willing to wager no one in this hall knows about it. As a civil servant, our work is largely unseen, and so it should be. But it benefits all those who are around us. We don't seek fame or fortune, which is why this award is so very rare for a civil servant to receive. We do the work because we believe in working for the benefit of others. That's why I see so many connections between my work and yours. Being health and life science graduates, you too have chosen to use your considerable intelligence and expert skill for the benefit of others rather than putting yourself first. And dare I say, much of your future work will be both unsung and unseen by all those you work closely, except all those you work closely beside and with. I truly believe that as a society, we succeed and thrive not by selfish acts of division, hate and difference, but by pulling together as a community and working together for the betterment of all. For me, as health and life science graduates, you epitomise that more than most. So it is my great pleasure and deep honour to receive my award in the presence of a cohort of people that so personify to me what is the very highest of ideals: selfless service for the betterment of the lives of others. I wish you all every success in your chosen careers and thank you in advance for the great work that you are about to do for the betterment of others and the lives of others. Thank you.